Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions. Nigel Belgrave, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. Like we talked about before we hit record, everybody has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. So with your permission, we're going to start with where you were born, go all the way up to today. And then we want to talk about the fact that you're a franchisee with PuroClean, and we want to talk about what that experience has been like.
Okay. All righty.
Thanks so much for being here, bud.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. I love it. Absolutely appreciate it. Definitely.
So where were you born?
Appreciate you taking the time. I was born across the pond. I was born in England, in Reading, England. Yes. I came to the States when I was 18.
Okay.
My family moved from England. This is going back a little bit. So in the 80s, the economy in England was not great.
Yeah.
So my folks figured it was a good time to come to America.
Okay.
My mother's side of the family is all in the States. My dad's side of the family is all in England.
Okay.
So chance to meet relatives I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
You know? And my intent, at that age, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
The rap music. So my intent was come to America for 1 year, just 1 year. And I was going to experience the whole rap scene in New York City. And then I was going to go back home. Yeah. And here I am 35 years later, still in America. Still trying to find the rap scene.
This has been a long year.
Yes, exactly. A very long year. A lot of things that happened in that year. Definitely.
I love it. That is so cool. So let me ask you a question. Growing up in England.
Yes.
What was your favorite thing about growing up there?
Favorite thing, there's just so much, because it's home. Yeah. It's where you grow up from home. Knowing everybody. I grew up in a small town, so I knew everybody in the small town. So coming to America, the first adjustment was not knowing everybody. Yeah. And adjusting to the environment and the culture. Yes, we both speak English, but Americans speak a very different English than what I was used to. Yeah, so I had to learn that. There was some adjustments with that as well. So it's just many things, like even TV is different here in America than it is in England. So, TV's different. The food is different. You drive on the other side of the road. So much is different over here. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're on the wrong side, right? The wrong side.
Well, now I'm here so long, I think it's the right side, but yeah.
There you go. I love it. Okay. So in high school, did you have a favorite subject?
High school, probably science and maths. That side of the world. I was your typical teenage kid where school was just something I needed to get through. Yeah. That's it. Just a formality. Let me get through it. Let me do with school and get it behind me. So yeah. And I love playing sports, obviously. It was that was a big thing. In England, we have a different big three sports. Right. I played soccer, I played rugby, I played cricket. Coming to the States, you guys go football, basketball, and hockey, I guess.
Well,
right?
Baseball too.
Baseball. Yeah. Which actually I shouldn't have forgotten baseball. My kids plays a lot of baseball, so I should have known that one. So yeah. So that was a big adjustment. As I got older and my son was born, I got into coaching sports. Yeah. So that's where I had to then learn these different American sports so that I could coach them. So that was a big adjustment.
A whole different set of rules, the whole thing.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. And my son eventually, he fell in love with baseball, and that's what he plays now. So learning baseball from scratch. Thank goodness for YouTube. Spent some hours watching it there, trying to figure out all the rules of the game, all the subtleties, all the finesse things about playing the sport. So yes. So I taught him until he was 12. And then at that point, he got too big, too fast, needed too much experience. So I retired. So
wow, that's cool. So growing up in England,
yes,
who was the most influential person to you?
It was probably music, to be perfectly honest here.
It's okay.
It's probably the musical world because a teenage kid, the
Yeah.
music is always your big thing.
Yeah.
Some of the artists that you see over here, Michael Jackson, Prince, people of that stature
Right.
were big everywhere. So yeah, very big in England. I liked rap, but R&B was definitely always my thing, without a doubt. One of the first things I did, I remember when I was in the States for the first time, was I went to a Chaka Khan concert.
There you go.
Yes.
I remember
Yeah.
Shaka Khan. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
aging myself just a little bit, but
Just
yeah.
a little. I am too, by the way.
Yeah,
I was 18 in the 80s. You know, right?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
So once you come to the States, you
Yes.
graduated high school, obviously, right?
You got it. Yep.
Once you come to the States, do you go to college? What do you do?
What I did was I joined the military. I joined the
Ooh.
United States Air Force. Yes. So I
Did you do
did.
that?
It was an opportunity to get some money for college,
There you
but
go.
also an opportunity to see the world, is what I
Yeah.
thought. I ended up only being stationed in Texas and California.
Oh.
So very interesting to see California, though. It's definitely the land of fruit and nuts. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I enjoyed California, though. I really did. We had a good time out there.
Yeah. So my mother, so I was born and raised in Oklahoma. My mother
Oh,
flew out here to find a house,
okay.
and I was 13 at the time. And she landed, and my dad met her at the plane. She got off the plane at LAX, and my dad said, "Welcome to the land of the fruits and the nuts." And I'm not talking about the ones on the trees. And my mother said, "You want me to move my babies out here?"
Oh, yeah. See?
Yeah, right. So where in California were you
I was
deployed?
stationed in Sacramento, California,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Allen and Mayfair Air Force Base.
So the capital. Wow.
Yes, right around the capital. Yeah. Unfortunately, both bases are closed now, but yeah,
Yeah.
I was stationed out there. I had a good time. I was an Air Force medic for a while. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So you're in the Air Force for how many
Yes.
years?
I did 4 years in the Air Force. Yeah.
Okay. And then where do you go from there?
Just prior to joining the Air Force, I had started some time in banking.
Okay.
So when I got out of the Air Force, my wife moved us back to Massachusetts. So I came back to banking from there.
Okay.
So, and I've done the rounds with banking. So I've worked for the big banks, the small banks. I've worked with credit unions. I've done call centers, branch banking, small business lending. So all in all, I did almost 20 years in different
Wow.
types of roles within banking.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
were you in the loan side? What were you doing in banking?
My last stop was running a branch. I was running just a traditional customer service branch for banking,
Okay.
but prior to that, I had done some small business lending.
Okay.
And,
So
and that's what introduced me to the entrepreneurial world.
There you go. So here's
Yeah.
a question for you.
Sure.
What was your favorite thing about being in banking for 20 years?
The people contact,
Yeah.
working with people, in the branches, working as a team. The folks in the branch were very professional, very customer focused.
Yeah.
It was good working with folks of that nature. Always good natured people. So I love working in the branches, love working in the banks. They were all good to me. I have no complaints about any institutions I worked for.
Yeah.
Enjoyed working and helping customers. That was the big thing. Yeah.
In the Air Force,
Mhm.
what was your favorite thing about serving in the Air Force?
Um,
It wasn't
know
the world travel.
no, I didn't get to travel. So no, you can't go to Sacramento and see in the world. But no,
Yeah, it's
I
like,
enjoyed
come on,
Sacramento.
man.
But exactly. I think it was actually the job in the military. So my MOS in the military, my job assignment was a medic.
Yeah.
And my peacetime assignment as a medic was a labor and delivery specialist.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So the excitement of birth,
Yeah.
that was definitely something to see, something to experience. Absolutely. We had a lot of fun with that.
So my father-in-law was a medic in the Navy
Okay.
for 20 years.
Oh, wait, see?
He was actually a war hero in the
Ah,
Vietnam War. He was
good.
awarded the Silver Star for valor and
Okay.
Purple Heart.
Uh,
And if you met him,
serious.
Nigel,
Yeah.
never know.
No, yeah, just the
He's
regular
the
down to earth kind
nicest
of guy,
guy
right?
on the planet.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
You
I
never
do.
know.
I do.
Crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So what makes you, so I assume we're getting to the PuroClean thing, right?
Yes, we're just about to. Yes.
So what makes you decide, number one, what makes you decide to get to buy a franchise?
Right.
Number two, what makes you decide on PuroClean, right?
Okay. Right.
And ultimately, what makes you decide to become self-employed?
Okay. All righty. So my time in banking, like I mentioned, I was doing small business lending.
Right.
And during that time, you obviously you meet a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs. And talking with a lot of them, I was fascinated by just the lifestyle,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest. Here. The challenges of running your own business day to day, the challenges of dealing with your employees, dealing with customers, suppliers, manufacturers. That all intrigued me because there was just so much variation to it. It was clear that it wasn't a day to day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the upside, if you're a successful entrepreneur, the revenue, the income from it can live you a very comfortable life.
Yeah.
So obviously that was also very appealing to me as well.
Right.
So then I started looking to say, okay, what can I do for a living?
Right.
All my experiences being either as a medic or in banking. And unfortunately, I wasn't in a position to go open my own bank. So
Right.
we knew that was out of the question.
Yeah.
So I needed to learn something new. At that point, I looked into the franchise world because I knew it would have a model that would be something I could follow, which reminded me of my military time, where the military gives you very clear direction. So a path to success, and franchises provide you that kind of opportunity.
So kind of plug and play, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You
You
follow what they
literally
tell you to
follow
do.
the system and you're good. It's a model.
You got it. You got it, you know. So my challenge became figuring out what it was that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, and some of that was trying to figure out what I felt was missing in my own world, you
Right.
know. So I love banking to death, but one of the challenges with banking is that you spend the majority of your time in one spot, in one office, in one place.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to have something that I could get out and about, interact a little more with the world with. But I also wanted something where I could continue to help people. That
Gotcha.
was still very important to me, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to be in the world of the service industry. So that still was what was appealing to me. So then you're just trying to figure out which arena, which world to get into. I looked into food services. It didn't feel like quite a right fit, you know, so I steered away from that. And some of the challenges can be very expensive to get into. There are some great franchises out there, but they want some very big money.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you
I'm
know.
with you.
So I needed something that was a little more reasonable. I needed something that I could do myself, that I can quickly learn and get the skills to do and execute myself. I didn't want to be in a position where I'd have to hire people right on day one and be dependent on them.
Gotcha.
I wanted to be able to learn it for myself, so that I'm always in a position to steer the company, right? So that's where I ended up with the restoration industry in general, you know. And all this time I'm talking to a franchise coach. So he's kind of steering me and giving me direction based on what I'm responding as my needs and wants.
Gotcha.
And that's why we ended up with the restoration industry.
Yeah.
So then it became a question of looking to see what players are out there, which one would fit for me, you know. There are a couple of the very big guys nationwide. The concern with those folks is their territories are very tight. There's a lot of locations, not a lot of room to carve out some space.
Right.
You know, so then looking at it, I was like, okay, I still wanted to be with a decent size restoration network, so that there are definite partners. I was looking for a network that was rising and on the forward and on the upward moving situation. Coming out of banking, two things I'd gotten used to is technology and taking advantage of technology, but also too, like I mentioned, the customer service and staying in front of that. You know, so that's why I ended up with PuroClean. I liked how they were positioned, what they did for taking advantage of technology. I liked their training program, so it wasn't a case of here, buy a franchise and we'll throw you out into the world and you're on your own. Good luck. You know, I liked the experience within the organization. Some of their leadership have a direct restoration experience. They've run their own
For
franchises.
decades. For
So
decades,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. For a very long time and very successful. So
Mhm.
it's very handy to have people like that that you can call because they had hands-on knowledge of situations, you know. PuroClean provided you a lot of things to solve your initial challenges.
Mhm.
You know, they set you up so that you could acquire equipment and vehicles. They helped you with finding locations to operate your business out of. Like you say, they give you the blueprint on actions and behaviors to make you successful in this business. And then they also, I've been doing this now for almost 10 years.
Wow.
So they also keep coming back and providing you guidance on how to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's not just a case of, here, we give you a good start, let us know how it works out. No, they're definitely being a good partner to help take you every step of the way. So yes, very happy with my decision to be with PuroClean.
So do me a favor.
Sure.
Talk about the culture of the company, and here's why I'm asking. We had, as I told you, we had a member of the company, the corporate. She's in marketing.
Right.
We had her on. Margaret's her name. Shabbat, I think.
Yes.
And
Yep, I know Margaret.
Yeah. So Margaret is just amazing, and she is such a terrific spokesperson for corporate, right? For the franchisor.
Yes.
Because her life story is all about their culture. It's all about how that group down there is a family. I mean, they are really connected. So talk a little bit about what you found when you had a chance to get to know the leadership in PuroClean.
And that's it. So it's funny because I've been with them for 10 years now, so I'm very comfortable. But one of the things that I noticed, even within the first few months of being within the organization, was the personal touch. You know, it's funny enough, Margaret was working with the organization when I first joined. And then she left, and then she came back. So it goes to show how good it is. But I remember talking to her and other members within the organization, and then leaving the training session and coming back out and coming into the field. But then you run into things and you have to make the phone call, and you're calling someone where they remember who you are. So there's a definite personal interaction. I've worked with some bigger organizations where you call in and you're just a name and a number. You know, where with PuroClean, you make the phone call and you're talking to someone who remembers you and remembers your location and remembers the uniqueness of what you're dealing with and who you are in your environment. But also too, if you run into them or interact with them later on down the road, they remember the previous interactions. You know, and that's very warm and very comfortable because it makes you feel that you're important to the organization, that you're truly part of it. But the other thing that's nice about it is it helps you request and look for everything you're looking for. You know, and by that I mean sometimes you run into situations where you reach out, you don't know who you're dealing with, so you're just very exact and very precise. This is what I need. This is all I'm calling for. Whereas when you're comfortable with the other person on the other end of the line, you can have an expanded conversation, which sometimes opens up to other thoughts and comments and other information being provided to you. So that's one of the things that I do like about PuroClean. I do like being able to just quickly reach out and say, hey, this is Nigel, got a quick question for you. And get a straightforward, honest answer and response. Sometimes it's not what I want to hear. Nature's beast, you know, but at least I understand where I'm positioned, you know. But even to that extent, their answers, because they have a sense of what you want to hear as a franchise owner, you know. So even when they provide you an answer that you're not necessarily looking for, they still provide you a direction on, okay, this is what you can do, or this is where you need to go, or this is what you need to change to make it work for you better. So to me, it feels like I really got a good partnership in the relationship. You know?
To me, and this is and again, I'm just telling you what my impression was, right? I get the feeling that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Exactly. Very much so.
Like
Very
you've got that group that's cheering you on, and they're supportive as all get out, you know, and they care.
Yes.
You don't
Yeah.
find that everywhere. I mean,
No, you do not. No, you
it's
do
kind
not.
of rare, right?
Right.
And part of
Exactly.
what brought Margaret back, right, was the culture of the company.
Right.
It was the fact that, they stayed in touch with her while she was getting her master's degree. And
Exactly.
you with me? I mean, that that says something about the people that own this company, the people that
Yeah.
run this company,
Yeah.
and the type of culture that they built, you know? And
Yeah.
I was interested to talk with you because you're the first franchisee that we've talked with. I
Okay.
just wanted to see if you're getting that from your perspective, and it sounds like you are.
Yes. Oh, most definitely. But the other piece to that is I'm not the only franchise owner who's receiving that,
Yeah,
which subsequently makes it easier for me to interact with other franchise owners.
right.
Here in Massachusetts, we got 7 owners and we talk and interact all the time.
Yeah,
There's no competitiveness, and we have territories that bump up right against each other. So we do work in each other's territories
yeah,
and there's no animosity. We share equipment, we share vehicles, we share staff.
yeah.
We will work on jobs together. So it is very much a team, and to me, that does come from the top down, without
Yeah,
a doubt.
it permeates
Yes,
from that. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
like that. So that was why I felt compelled to talk with you, right? And just
Right,
get a feel for, from a because I've been a franchisee. I owned a franchise for 18 years, right?
right.
And I part of the reason that I bought that franchise and started it was because I went to the company, I went to corporate and I interviewed a bunch of people, right?
Absolutely.
And I didn't interview them about their professional prowess. I interviewed them about their personal values. I interviewed them about to see if we had the same type of values and the same type of morals with
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
And I found a fit there. And it sounds like that's what you found with PuroClean. And I can
Yes.
see it. Now that I've had a chance to talk with Margaret, and now that I've had a chance to get to know you, I can see it. I mean, it really is a culture that's built to last, and that literally comes from the leadership there. They
Right.
really
Exactly.
do care about their franchisees. So,
Yes. Yeah.
that's really cool, man. I mean, what a
And it is. It's good to be within an environment
yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and even I even feel like I have a responsibility, even though it comes naturally. I do feel I have a responsibility to continue that,
yeah,
because I'm part of that organization.
yeah,
So I do get to interact with brand new franchisees coming on board. So it's always nice to talk with them, to support and encourage them. And our world is 24-hour emergency service.
yeah,
So you tell the guys, call me day or night, 24 hours, anytime you want,
right.
and I will have people call me and then be surprised when I answer.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, I remember being where you are.
Yeah.
So I have no problem answering late at night and walking you through a loss. That's not
Well,
a
and
problem at all.
that's gotta feel good. You know what
Right.
I mean? That because at some point when you were brand new, there were people supporting you.
Yes.
You with me?
Absolutely.
And so now you're paying it forward.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal with our program, with us, right?
Right.
We're all about paying it forward because when we get people's life stories, we find mentors. We find people that didn't necessarily like in my life, there were people that didn't have time for me. They didn't have time to pull me aside and go, hey, this is the wrong way. You need to go with
Yes.
me, right?
Exactly.
It's like, and so and some of those people, quite honestly, are not with us anymore, Nigel.
Right.
And so for
Yeah.
me, I feel like it's incredibly important for those of us that are doing what we're doing to pay it forward in honor of those people.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
You see
Absolutely.
somebody who's newer, you see somebody who's younger, you see somebody that's sort of going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Stop, right?
Right.
Stop what you're doing, get a hold of them, okay,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
have a conversation and try and
Yeah.
try and figure out a way to help them in honor of those people that have helped us in the past.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And continue to help us today.
Yeah, it's a big
Absolutely. Yeah.
deal.
You know?
It's a big deal.
And even within, so I belong to a couple of groups within
Yeah,
PuroClean. And even as a group of owners, we challenge each other and we hold our feet to the fire. And we say stuff where I might not want to hear it,
Right.
But they speak from the heart and they speak what's truth, and they're speaking only with the intent of helping me.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that teamwork. Absolutely.
There's love, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's also tough love.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And sometimes the tough love thing leaves you licking your wounds a little bit. It's okay.
Just a little.
Right? It's okay. That's how we grow, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's how we grow. That's how we progress.
Absolutely.
And, accountability sometimes is going to sting.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
But that's good, though, because as a parent, you hold your kids accountable. So it's good to be reminded of what it's like to be on that other side of their shoes. So,
Absolutely. I totally agree. Well, Nigel, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. This has been a lot of fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed every second of this, and I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to get to know each other.
Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got the chance to talk. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.